Middlesex were cruelly denied an important T20 Blast win as their match with Gloucestershire in Radlett ended in the unluckiest of ways, with the visitors a fraction ahead on DLS after a 6 off the very last ball before play was halted. Earlier put in after losing the toss, Middlesex's openers Paul Sterling and Stevie Eskenazi put on 20 runs for the first wicket in 3.5 overs. But when Sterling tried to go long off Josh Shaw, he skied his shot to Jack Taylor inside the circle at mid-off, the Irishman out for 8. Cracknell, a young man probably still buzzing from his exploits a couple of days before, when he and John Simpson broke records in that remarkable win against Hampshire. Cracknell simply picked up where he left off on that memorable occasion. He and Eskenazi took the score to 44 for 1 at the end of the 6 overs of power play, Gloucestershire probably the happier of the two teams at this stage. The runs certainly weren't flowing as they did on Tuesday, although Cracknell did plant David Payne over the rope in the 11th over. The total read 79 for 1 after 11, and then Eskenazi on 28 was well stuck by Glenn Phillips off the ever-dependable Tom Smith. But Cracknell remained and added his 7th boundary to go with his one maximum as he reached a 50 again, this one occupying 34 deliveries. Once more his efforts were warmly received. Owen Morgan had joined him now, and he got going by belting Benny Howell down and out of the ground. An effort matched, perhaps not with the same finesse, in the next over by Cracknell, Middlesex taking their total to 120 with 5 overs of their innings remaining. Cracknell was not around for those, however, as on 67 he picked out Miles Hammond in the deep, his runs this time coming from 41 deliveries, another superb effort. The last 5 overs began with Morgan hitting a ball from Ryan Higgins so far that it was lost in the surrounding trees. Squirrels had to scatter. Morgan smashed 2 of the next 3 balls for 4, though sandwiched between this outrageous shot for 6, hit with immense power as if it was a tracer bullet. That over from Higgins cost 22 runs, and the next went for 10 with Simpson clipping a ball from Howell over the rope, but to their credit the visitors then reined in the scoring. Simpson showed too much of his stumps to Payne and was bowled behind his legs for 10. And then Morgan swung a low full toss from Higgins to Hammond at long on. The skip had gone for a very entertaining and at times explosive 38 from 22 balls. In came Chris Green, and he launched the very first ball he faced into the supporters, and he ended the innings with another 4, his side finishing their 20 overs on a competitive, if not unsurpassable, 179 for 5. Sterling then delivered a tight opening over to the reply, which cost only 4, but the returning Tim Murtagh saw his first one go for 13. Chris Dent off and running with 3 consecutive boundaries. Sterling was replaced by Blake Cullen, and Dent dispatched him for 2 maximums from his first 3 deliveries, the left-hander looking in wonderful touch with a couple of rather audacious shots. Dent had made 32 from only 14 balls when to his next he uppercut Stephen Finn to Cracknell. Dent had given his side an ideal start as they removed 61 runs from their target inside the power play. Ian Cobain came in and kept the scoreboard ticking over to keep his side in the ascendancy with some early boundaries. Gloucestershire made it to 82 for 2 after 8. Hammond the second man to go as he dragged a stroke off Green to Cracknell, who held on again in the deep, the batsman out for 20. Luke Holman was not so fortunate with a short ball, Phillips adding another maximum, but the young leggy held his nerve, gave the next delivery some flight and was rewarded by bowling Phillips. Cobain was now joined by his captain Taylor, and this pair carried the score to 98 for 3 at the halfway stage of their chase. But the light was diminishing, making batting a little tougher. Cullen at one end bowled with venom, which meant that Taylor had to go after Green, only to find Finn. Gloucestershire left on 122 for 4, leaving them needing 58 more from the remaining 6 overs. And Middlesex began to take a grip on the game in the 15th over. Holman again offering plenty of flight, which persuaded Howell to drive his second ball to Morgan in the covers. Gloucestershire now relied on Cobain, who hit the last ball of Holman's spell for 4 to get a 50 from 33 balls. The bowler's 4 overs, giving him figures of 2 for 33. With the light now really bad, but Middlesex ahead on DLS, Finn was brought on, possibly to have the players taken off by the umpires, but instead Higgins cleared the rope not once, but twice. This top edge carrying the distance, and that put Gloucestershire 2 runs ahead on the DLS score on 157 for 5, with 2 overs remaining and 23 runs to get. And would you believe it, rain began to fall to take the players off. And that was it. An over before, even a ball before, and Middlesex would have won, but instead the result was stolen from them, losing by 2 runs. It was a slightly farcical finale and cruel on the hosts, who now need to pick themselves up as they head immediately to Cardiff.